Gypsy Rose Blanchard has posted another photo of her baby to Instagram. Gypsy posted this photo to her Instagram, and Ken posted this photo to his Instagram celebrating Valentine's Day.
Let me know what y'all think, because it's tea time.
Allegedly, Ken Urker, Gypsy's baby daddy, is door dashing because Gypsy Rose doesn't trust him enough to bartend.
Gypsy Rose Blanchard just dropped another baby update, but there's still one thing missing. Her face. People are buzzing after Gypsy and her husband Ken both posted photos for Valentine's Day, showing off little Aurora, but carefully keeping her hidden. This marks the second time Gypsy has shared a glimpse of her daughter without actually revealing her. She's made it clear that she won't be posting her baby on social media, though she did say Aurora looks just like her. Born on December 28, 2024. Exactly 1 year after Gypsy's prison release, baby Aurora is now just over a month old. And according to Gypsy, she's growing fast, happy, and healthy. Motherhood seems to be treating her well, but the big question is, will she really keep her baby off social media forever? Gypsy has a lot of online haters, so keeping her child's life private would be the best move. But let's be honest, people like her always say they won't post their kids, and then they do. Meanwhile, Ken's Valentine's Day post for Gypsy read, "Beyond excited to spend this day with you. Happy Valentine's Day," while Gypsy captioned hers, "My two loves on Valentine's Day." But despite the lovey-dovey posts, some people still don't believe the baby even exists. If you've been living under a rock, there are actual rumors that Gypsy faked her pregnancy. Out of all the wild theories floating around about her, this one seems like a stretch. But hey, with Gypsy, you never really know. But moving on with some more serious tea.
Rumor on the street is Gypsy Rose's attorney used all the money that she made from the gala a couple of months ago to fix up her house, child. Now, I personally know some corrupt things that she's done recently, but I'm going to keep my mouth closed until the problems are solved and then air it out.
Gypsy Rose's legal team is under fire, and things are looking messy. Allegations of fraud, deception, and shady ethics are swirling, and at the center of it all is none other than her attorney, Jerry Jambon Giroux. If you've been following Gypsy's story, you might have noticed a pattern. She tends to surround herself with people whose morals are, let's just say, questionable. And this latest controversy, it's only adding fuel to the fire. So, what exactly is going on? Giroux, who also runs the Louisiana-based nonprofit Bless Your Heart, is facing accusations that money raised for charity was actually used to renovate his own home. Yep. You heard that right. The organization claims to help those facing educational and financial struggles, and every year they throw a big fundraising event, the Community Partnership Gala. Sponsors and donors pour in money, expecting it to go back into the community. But according to recent reports, the funds from the latest gala may not have gone where they were supposed to. Instead of being used for charitable initiatives, it's alleged that Giroux funneled the money into personal home improvement projects. And while there hasn't been an official audit released to the public, there are growing concerns about the nonprofit's transparency, or lack thereof. Some community members have even suggested that mismanagement of funds has been an ongoing issue, pointing to past instances where promised aid and community projects never fully materialized. Now, this isn't just about one sketchy nonprofit. This situation raises bigger questions about Gypsy Rose and the people she's trusting to represent her. She's fresh out of prison and trying to reshape her public image. But when your legal team is making headlines for all the wrong reasons, that's a problem that's just getting started. And speaking of things that are just getting started, so is this video. If you're enjoying the tea and don't want to miss out on more, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Otherwise, you might end up as lost as Giroux's accounting records. And while you're at it, drop a comment below. Do you think Gypsy needs a new legal team, or is this just another bump in her post-prison journey? Oh, and don't forget to like this video. Unlike Giroux's financial reports, these are fully transparent.
Rumor on the street is Gypsy Rose's attorney used all the money that she made from the gala a couple of months ago to fix up her house, child. Now, I personally know some corrupt things that she's done recently, but I'm going to keep my mouth closed until the problems are solved and then air it out. But anyway, she was doing business with a company, and the company didn't want to be outed because they know she's associated with scams, allegedly, and Gypsy Rose But you know me being the creator I am. I'm going to go ahead and out them. This is Danos that is associated with Gypsy Rose's attorney who is doing the alleged corruption and fraud. Child. The one that allegedly took the money from the gala, to help people in need to basically put her house together. And Danos knows what she's associated with and what she does, and they stay around her. Birds of a feather flock together, child. Like, share, and repost.
First off, the drama surrounding Jerry just took a turn for the worse. And let's just say, this isn't looking like a simple case of bad judgment. Reports are swirling that insiders at Bless Your Heart nonprofit allegedly tried to blow the whistle on some shady dealings, but were swiftly silenced. And if that's true, then this whole scandal isn't just about one lawyer making questionable choices. It could be a full-blown system of corruption hiding behind charity work. As these accusations gain traction, legal experts are already debating whether this could lead to criminal charges or civil suits. At the very least, Jerry's reputation is in shambles, not just as a legal professional, but as someone who's been entrusted with handling charitable funds. Some people are trying to defend her, saying, well, we don't know if she did anything wrong. Fair point, but let's talk about optics. Jerry didn't just represent Gypsy, she befriended her. She was at her baby shower, her book signing, and private events. This isn't just about legal advocacy anymore. It's a full-on personal alliance. And when a lawyer crosses that line with someone known for deception, people start asking questions. It doesn't help that Jerry's professional choices don't exactly align with the image she's been pushing. She claims to advocate for domestic violence victims, yet she's defended a man accused of mistreating his wife and children. That contradiction wasn't lost on the internet. Last year, a content creator named Nina received an anonymous email detailing Jerry's alleged unethical legal tactics. The claims, manipulating the legal system for profit, placing children with questionable guardians, and abusing her influence in the community. One part of the email was especially chilling. It flat out called for an investigation into Jerry, alleging that she aligns herself more with abusers than actual victims. Now, if even a fraction of this is true, then Jerry's whole narrative crumbles. Between defending Gypsy, allegedly mishandling nonprofit funds, and backing individuals accused of abuse, it's starting to look like her focus isn't justice, it's power and money. And the biggest question now, how much deeper does this go?
When I first began speaking about Gypsy Rose's attorney, Jure, I never anticipated to get so many messages. And when I tell you I have received hundreds of emails, messages between TikTok and my email about this woman, it's been insane. I mean, all sorts of things. Some things I haven't spoken on yet, but it makes me sad to see that there are communities where people are scared to speak up because of the things that are taking place. And I would love for this to be a place on my page where I can help the communities and bring awareness to situations on a wider spread platform to bring change, because people shouldn't live like this. And with her allegedly putting kids in predatory situations and causing more trauma, probably for money, is disheartening. And this woman that owns a nonprofit organization claiming to help the community would be doing this is disgraceful. So, Jure, if these allegations are true, you should hang your head in shame. The fact that you sit in Bible study and you're the leader is disgusting. Do better. Do better. Because you should be locked up for this. This is a shame. And I said what I said.
When does a lawyer stop being an advocate and start being a master manipulator? Because Gypsy Rose Blanchard's legal team is starting to look less like defenders of justice and more like spin doctors crafting a perfectly curated public narrative. At the center of it all is Jerry, a lawyer who has built a career around defending individuals with deeply questionable pasts. And instead of reassuring the public, her track record has only fueled speculation. Are her choices guided by legal ethics, or is it all about securing the bag? Jerry has a history of representing clients accused of exploiting legal loopholes, and time again, she's been criticized for using aggressive legal tactics that seem more about securing victories than ensuring true justice. With Gypsy now under her wing, the concerns are only intensifying. People are starting to ask, does she actually believe in her mission, or is this just another high-profile case to elevate her name? critics argue that a pattern is emerging, one that suggests she may not be as committed to advocating for victims as she claims. And when you throw Gypsy into the mix, that suspicion only grows stronger. Their close relationship, paired with the mounting concerns about Jar's legal strategies, makes it increasingly difficult to separate personal interests from professional integrity. But Jerry isn't the only lawyer shaping Gypsy's story. Enter Mike Stanfield, Gypsy's original attorney, the mastermind behind the very narrative that convinced the world she was an innocent, helpless victim trapped in an abusive nightmare with no escape. If you followed Gypsy's case, you remember how it played out. A tragic, heartbreaking tale of a girl subjected to unimaginable suffering at the hands of her mother. The thing is, that entire story, that was Mike Stanfield's work. He carefully pieced together a version of events that made Gypsy look like she had no other choice, and the public ate it up. But here's the kicker. Some of the key details used to shape that story, they weren't exactly true. Stanfield pushed the idea that Gypsy's mother, Dee Blanchard, had Munchausen by proxy, but a posthumous diagnosis isn't even possible. He also insisted that Dee forced Gypsy into unnecessary medical procedures, but later it was revealed that Gypsy actually had a chromosome deletion disorder that may have warranted some of those treatments. These claims weren't just courtroom fluff, they were crucial in securing Gypsy a plea deal that reduced her charge from first-degree to second-degree homicide. So now the question is, at what point does a legal strategy cross the line into manipulation? If Gypsy's legal team has been playing fast and loose with the facts all along, what else don't we know? And more importantly, what happens when the truth finally catches up?
Some medical record where Dee essentially lied to the doctor about something. Mentally, Gypsy is behind. She's at the level of a 7-year-old on mother's information. And this is something that you see almost across all of the records is upon mother's information, upon history by mother. So she's talking to the doctor here, and she's talking about how she has mental and developmental delays, needs assistance. Apparently, while holding her hands over Gypsy's ears so as not to offend history of mental retardation, 7-year-old level per mom. And so this was the one time where a doctor actually put in the record that Dee's got her hands over Gypsy's ear.
Something about this whole situation just feels off. First, we had Jerry, the lawyer who went from defending Gypsy to allegedly blurring every ethical boundary in the book. And now there's Mike, another legal professional who didn't just represent Gypsy, but seems to have become a permanent fixture in her life. Coincidence? Or is there a pattern forming? Mike wasn't just any lawyer. He was a public defender, someone meant to uphold justice, not manipulate the system. Yet, instead of letting the facts speak for themselves, he crafted a case built on emotional appeal and unverified claims, ensuring Gypsy walked away with a sentence far lighter than most expected. But here's the real kicker. He didn't just move on after the case was closed. He's been spotted at her private events, staying close in a way that raises more questions than answers. Was this just a legal defense, or was there something deeper at play? Some speculate Mike played a key role in shaping Gypsy's public image, knowing that a well-crafted narrative could lead to book deals, interviews, and widespread sympathy, not just for her, but for himself, too. And that's where things get murky. At what point does legal defense cross the line into personal involvement? When a lawyer chooses to remain in their client's life long after the courtroom drama ends, what does that say about their true motivations? And let's not forget, this isn't just about Mike. Jerry did the exact same thing. 2 lawyers, 2 highly questionable reputations, both deeply embedded in Gypsy's life. It begs the question, does Gypsy have a way of surrounding herself with people who share her same ethical blind spots? Or are these lawyers drawn to her, sensing an opportunity to elevate their own careers and public image? Because let's be real, when you willingly align yourself with someone known for manipulating narratives, people are going to start wondering if you're doing the same. And if that's the case, how much of what we think we know about Gypsy is actually true? How much has been carefully curated by those standing beside her? So, is Gypsy the mastermind, pulling these people into controversy? Or were they already morally questionable before they even met her? Are these attorneys truly about justice, or are they just playing the system for their own benefit? And if they are, how deep does this manipulation really run? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Because trust me, this story, it's far from over.
So allegedly, this is by Bless Your Heart Foundation, and you know that's the one that Gypsy Rose's family law attorney owns. Now, I heard that this particular family law attorney is basically for the ones that really can't find an attorney that wants to represent them, or the people that don't have, like, the funds.
And can we talk about how irresponsible it is to let Gypsy anywhere near youth? This is the same woman who manipulated a man with autism and a low IQ into committing murder. Who thought it was a good idea to make her the face of any charitable effort? It's not giving redemption, it's giving calculated damage control with a side of delusion.
I heard that she's kind of known as the unethical attorney, the one that's really not worth a damn. And allegedly, this is sponsored by Gypsy Rose Blanchard, and I'm assuming Lifetime covered it. So I'm sure they're going to use this on Lifetime to act like she actually did something. The fact that anyone would have their youth around Gypsy Rose Blanchard.
Oh, and her attorney? Allegedly, she's got a scammer streak too, which honestly makes this partnership make way too much sense. Birds of a feather, am I right? Lifetime seems to be eating this all up, conveniently ignoring the receipts while turning it into a spectacle. So, what do you think? Is this a legit redemption arc or just another elaborate hustle?
The woman that used a man with autism and a low IQ that was collecting a disability check, permanent disability check, is really laughable. And it really says something about her attorney, but we already knew the attorney was a scammer, allegedly.
Gypsy Rose Blanchard's recent gender reveal is making waves. Not just for the announcement itself, but for the eyebrow-raising guest list. Louisiana is buzzing, and honestly, it's no wonder. Let's unpack the drama because the internet and the locals are on fire over this one. Here's the headline. Gypsy's big event featured a Louisiana attorney known for her work with a nonprofit supporting domestic violence survivors.
I am baffled that an attorney that supports domestic violence abuse victims would really co-sign and support someone that unalived her mom and had her mom set up. And after seeing those brutal crime scene pictures that were released last week or resurfaced, she's aware. There's nothing that this woman doesn't know. And also, it makes me wonder if this woman has any association at all with the parole officer.
Now, with this attorney publicly backing Gypsy, it's giving serious conflict of interest vibes. Supporting a client legally is one thing, but becoming their hype person, it's messy. But wait, it gets better. This same attorney isn't just attending the reveal, she's representing Gypsy in her divorce. Coincidence? Highly unlikely. It's the kind of alignment that makes you wonder, is this about justice, or is there another agenda at play?
She also handles criminal cases. I'm going to be honest with you. I wouldn't hire an attorney like this. That's just my personal opinion. Just because if an attorney would support someone like that, it brings her integrity in question, right? It makes you wonder, what does she really stand for? Are you really for justice? They've been trying to paint a picture of Gypsy that's totally different from what the public has been able to see. Now, we all know Gypsy Rose Blanchard is a liar, manipulator, an unaliver, and she's completely unethical. However, they're trying to paint a picture that the world is trying to bully her. Content creators are trying to bully her, and that's the reason why she hasn't been able to be an advocate.
But wait, it gets even messier. Gypsy and her attorney recently hosted a Christmas charity event for the less fortunate, allegedly sponsored by something called the Bless Your Heart Foundation. And guess what? The foundation is owned by Gypsy's family law attorney. The layers of this are wild. This attorney, who has a less than stellar reputation for taking on cases nobody else will touch, is now co-signing Gypsy's rebrand. Talk about audacity.
To make things even worse, child, Shorty did a Christmas thing for the less fortunate with her attorney, Jeray, allegedly. So let's watch this. Well, actually, let's look at it.
Here's where it gets even spicier. People in Gypsy's community are sending in receipts about this charity event, claiming Lifetime is backing the whole thing. And you just know they're going to spin it into content with a look at Gypsy giving back narrative. But let's be real, the same community she scammed and manipulated isn't about to buy into this redemption arc. It's a PR stunt. Plain and simple.
Here is an attorney in Louisiana, and she also helps a nonprofit organization for domestic violence. Let's check it out. So she was in the community spotlight, and it says, as a mother, God has really put the children of domestic violence on my heart. Jure, and then, they give all the information down below.
At first glance, it sounds like a good cause, right? But when you factor in Gypsy's infamous history, alleged abuse, and, orchestrating her mother's murder, it's a choice that's sparking major side eyes. Like, how does a legal advocate for survivors end up aligning with someone whose story is steeped in such controversy?
Now, all of us that have really truly done our research, we know that Gypsy is not a victim of that, correct? But this woman is supporting a woman that unalived her mom, which that is domestic violence. She's also supporting a woman that had her mom set up and allegedly was abusing her. That is what this attorney is co-signing on. And what I also thought was rather odd is that this same attorney is actually her attorney for her divorce. Let's check that out as well.
Ironic doesn't even cover it. This attorney hasn't been shy about her stance either, dropping a quote about protecting kids impacted by domestic violence. A noble mission, sure, but for those of us who know Gypsy's case, it's not that simple. Yes, there are claims of abuse in Gypsy's past, but her actions have left people divided. Did the mistreatment justify the outcome? It's a question that still lingers.
Remember, Katie Joy recently posted this, and it shows the court date. I thought that name looked really familiar, and I went back to look at the screenshot, and sure enough.
Especially since this attorney is fully aware of the brutal crime scene details that resurfaced just last week. Standing by Gypsy despite all that, it's a bold move to say the least. Justice, clout, or something else entirely? What's her endgame? Meanwhile, Louisiana locals are fuming, and honestly, I can't blame them. To some, it feels like the attorney's credibility is on the line. Representing someone with Gypsy's history is one thing, but public support, that hits different, especially in a community so closely tied to the case. Would you want this attorney in your corner? Because the backlash suggests plenty of people wouldn't. This tangled web of controversy has everyone asking, is this a case of misunderstood advocacy, or has the attorney crossed a line? We've got drama, we've got questions, and we've got opinions flying everywhere. What's your take? Is this support justified, or is it a PR nightmare waiting to happen? Drop your thoughts below, smash that like button if you're as shook as I am, and stay tuned. There's always more tea brewing.